Hello there. Good evening. My name is Nino, and I'm a 23-year-old ski snowboard instructor and beginner digital marketer. Now, you're probably here because I am doing my 90-day challenge, or maybe you're not here and this is just for me. In that case, hello, Nino. Before I start this, I just want to say something. I am incredibly talented at something, and that is breaking a promise to probably the most important human being in my life, which isn't none of me, it's myself. I can tell myself to do something or say, yes, we're going to do this, and I can break my own promise. And I do that way too often. The 90-day challenge has always pushed me multiple occasions to actually do something still. And that's also why I'm here. It is currently, I don't know if you can see that, 10 to 12. And I told people I'd make a YouTube video today. I told myself I'd make a YouTube video today. So here I am. I've been making a script so I wouldn't take too long in the editing, and all I did is just postpone. And now we're here. No script, but I want to get started. So let's not take too much of your time. Let's get into it and let's talk about what I learned this first week of doing the 90-day challenge. So the main goal of the 90-day challenge is to make 10,000 US dollars in 90 days. Now, I know that's a very high goal, but I also want to put a lot of energy into it because, well, I have a lot of time. I work from home currently as a digital marketer, and I have a lot of time on my hands, to be honest. And if I can't do something with that time now, I'll never get more time in my life. So might as well. The original idea was to sell digital products, which roughly goes like this. I make my product here. I get people to this product by making videos, which a lot of people will see. Another part of people will actually be interested, and another part of people will actually want to buy it. That is called a funnel. And that funnel will eventually hopefully lead to people buying products. I started off with a free product, the ski checklist. And I've sold 10 downloads, which I'm pretty happy with. It makes me feel like people are interested in the thing that I'm making. It's pretty cool. To increase the amount of impressions, the first one I have, I'm currently uploading to technically 9 different platforms, but I've kind of dwindled that down to, I think, 5 main ones, which are going to be here in this little arc around me, hopefully somewhere. On each of those platforms, I got a different amount of impressions. Now, those impressions are incredibly useful so I can see what video performs well. For example, this video on YouTube performed quite well, extremely well, I should say, because 2,000 people is a lot. And on Instagram, this video performed a lot better. So on different platforms, different videos perform better. One of the ones that have stood out to me the most is behind the content, the truth behind content creation. That one stood out to me because I thought it was just a quick video, my first viral video that I had, which got like 1,300 views in like the first 48 hours, which was to me extremely insane. My workflow for each piece of content is to have the idea in my head, talk about it on camera, sometimes with a script, sometimes without a script. The benefit for me of having a script is that your editing time will be way shorter. This video is going to be a long ramble, probably not going to be edited like fine-tuned to the minute because it's like, or to the second because it's a YouTube video, so this is more the style that we're going for, but still better than nothing. For other piece of content, it's just me talking to the camera and cutting that down to the millisecond so it retains people's attention because people's attention span is very short nowadays, and then upload that to all of the platforms. I'm currently not customizing for any platforms. What I do customize with the help of AI is the caption. A lot of captions are currently being used not for whatever is being said, it is being used to match with the right audience. So if I write down personal development, it'll give it to personal development interested people. If I write down ski snowboard, it will give it to ski snowboard people. That I use AI for that. That's just, otherwise I can spend hours thinking. If AI can do it way better, way quicker. AI, yay! Now, which you may or may not have already seen by the title, we made absolutely $0 this week. But I have received texts and a couple handful of followers, which sound kind of cult-like, I think, but people who have messaged me from my past, from colleagues to friends to family, and that already has made everything worth it. Since this summer I've been uploading, when I started training for the marathon, to now, having been in touch with these people that would have otherwise not spoken to, has been incredibly fun. So thank you everybody who sent me a text. And if you're thinking about sending me a text or something in my videos or pictures makes you think a little bit, please let me know. I'd love to have a chat. Building a community is slowly forming step by step as well. Now, here we go into the value of things. What are some of the key takeaways from this first week? Firstly, something I already discovered a bit prior as well, editing can take forever unless you just stop. I can either spend 2 hours editing a very simple video for 10 seconds, and the result will be the exact same, if not worse, than the video I spent 10 minutes editing. I don't know. Currently, people want authenticity, and for some reason, I give that if I make mistakes in making the video. That's what I'm hoping on here. Hello. Another one is you don't know what piece of content is going to do well. I've made a couple pieces of content, which slowly I'm getting the hang of it. I theoretically know what's going to work, but putting that out with my own two hands, difficult for some reason. Maybe I'm not putting enough attention to each piece of content, or maybe I'm doing it a bit different than other people, but slowly I'm getting the hang of it. So getting a knack for what actually works is another thing that I've learned. 3-second videos, which people will see on repeat with a longer caption, works for me. Another thing that works for me is a behind the scenes truth of content creation bar. That also works for me. The ski snowboarding stuff has been a little bit more difficult. The biggest accounts out there are only a couple 10 to 100,000 followers on Instagram, and the only real big people are like professional athletes. And I'll tell you what, I'm not a professional athlete, even though I'd like to believe I am. Now, another key takeaway is the first digital product that we made, the checklist. I based that checklist on a couple different checklists I found online for inspiration, and one of them was a main inspiration, and I texted the creator, hey, can I use your layout? Just a layout of the page. And I got to work without really waiting for the answer. And what do you think they said? They said, rather not. They just wouldn't be as comfortable with me using the same layout, their template. And legally, it's nothing binding, but if I can avoid stepping on somebody's toes, I'd rather do that. I don't want to pick a fight with anybody. So I had to change my layout. So I had to take down the product. I had to switch around some videos and a LinkedIn post. And all right, just a little note to self. Don't be too eager. Wait for the reply first. And honestly, my last key takeaway, which I've kind of been procrastinating about, is work effectively. I've mentioned this in one of the Instagram videos previously as well, that I can work under pressure. I have a deadline to be made. I can make the deadline. And it's like a 50-50 if I can make that same mental deadline for this content creation, or if it's got to be pushed to the dang limit, like this video, where I just don't do it. I think about it. I make a script. I postpone. I don't procrastinate. Is that procrastinate? Well, let me see. Procrastination. Meaning act of unnecessary delay. No, I stand to be corrected. I am fully procrastinating, and I'm damn good at it as well. All right, now that I've learned that I'm actually just procrastinating, I really want to avoid doing that. Going into the future, I want to do better. That's for sure. I want to become more efficient. I've tried making schedules for myself, which work occasionally. If I have a busier day, I somehow find 2 hours only to do this content creation, which forces me to do 2 hours only, which gets more work done. But other days where I have an entire day for myself, the only thing that I can get done is the paid work. I can't get my personal work done for whatever reason. Procrastination. And then at the end of the day, I make a lovely 1.5-minute long video talking about the minor things that I did that day, but makes me think of Gary Vee's post that I saw the other day, where consistency isn't every cup every day is full. It's every day a little bit is also consistency. But for me, I know that that little bottom layer is the absolute minimum. I tell myself, oh, it's all right, even though I know I could do way better. So a bit disappointed in myself on days like that. All right, it's already 12:10. I'm going to start editing this video, and then hopefully it's going to be out in an hour. Wish me luck. All right, see you next week. This week, sorry, one last thing. This week we are going to start doing UGC, user-generated content. We're going to start a new channel, and we're going to see if we can make some piece of content that will be more effective in that manner, and see if we can land our first deal, hopefully with a brand. We'll see.